Right now at 6, the Carthage City Council meets to discuss legal options to remove the city administrator.
And we're starting off a little cooler this morning with rain moving in this morning and again this evening.
Plus, a youth leadership program in Crawford County graduates hundreds of 6th graders.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Lindsay Gaffney.
Yes, and it's Wednesday. We are halfway through the final full week of April. I can't believe how fast the month's gone by.
It is actually very surprising.
Yeah, we've got April showers.
April showers do bring May flowers. We'll hopefully see that next week if we see some flowers sprouting up. But we do have a lot of rain chances this week, starting this morning. Outside right now, about 45 degrees. We do see those clouds starting to increase. We've got one shower moving through right now, heading into the western counties, making its way to Joplin by about 8:39 a.m. Winds are very calm and good visibility. We had a little patchy fog this morning, but mostly should be cleared out by now. Temperatures across the region still in the lower to mid 40s. 41 out in Fort Scott, 49 in Jay. So we are getting a little bit warmer slowly but surely. And as the sun comes up, we will warm up some more. Now, with the clouds we have moving in and the rain showers we've got, may not feel as warm today as it did yesterday. But we do have this one shower pushing in. It'll start to make its way through Eureka, as it already is, Fredonia, Parsons, Columbus, and then it'll hit Joplin by about 8:39 a.m. Now after that, it will start to clear out. We're still going to have the clouds in the area, but right now, just these showers moving through. Patchy clouds throughout the later morning hours and into the early afternoon. By mid-afternoon, clouds start to increase, and then we're going to have heavier rain move in later on this evening. Now I'll have more details for you in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. We'll see you soon. The Carthage, Missouri City Council last night met to discuss the next steps in an effort to remove the city administrator. Some members of the council want to hire an outside attorney to assist with the removal process. It stems from Mayor Dan Reich's belief the city policy says he has to approve the dismissal along with the council and that he will not do so. The city attorney resigned from his position 2 weeks ago and bid farewell last night in his last meeting. The bill to hire an outside attorney passed its first reading. They also approved on first reading a measure to budget money to hire an attorney to help impeach the mayor. Both will be brought up for a second reading in a special council meeting on Monday. The City Council in Baxter Springs, Kansas also met last night. They discussed plans for a sober living house. The plan is controversial for some residents because of its proximity to a school and restaurant bar. Council members yesterday determined the proposed location is not properly zoned for a sober living house and would have to be rezoned for the plan to proceed.
In this nicely, peacefully, if the interested parties in putting this in come to us and try and rezone, we'll have another hearing. As of right now, they are not in compliance, so there's a quite a process they will have to go through.
The Baxter Springs City Council meets on the second and fourth Tuesday of every month. More than 500 6th grade students in Crawford County yesterday graduated from the Youth Leadership Program. The Pittsburgh Area Chamber Foundation has hosted the program for 21 years now. It helps students develop leadership skills, including teamwork, communication, resolving conflict, and leading by example. The program has been instituted in every junior high school in Crawford County. More than 300 young Special Olympics athletes gathered together yesterday for the Special Olympics Kansas Youth Track and Field competition at the Pitt State's Plaster Center. Athletes competed in various competitions, including the 200-meter run and softball throwing. The competition began with an opening ceremony and a law enforcement torch run.
It's cool to see year after year the same relationships. People will see each other every year and they'll remember each other from the year prior, and it's cool to see those relationships continue to cultivate.
My brother and sister are special needs, so I've been coming to these for majority of my whole life.
That's cheating.
So you could say my whole life, but like technically speaking, 3 to 4 years.
Okay.
The Southeast Regional Youth and Track and Field is the largest event for the organization. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News. A labor complaint reveals allegations that Boeing retaliated against 2 of its engineers. Plus, Columbia University is giving students protesting for Palestinians a new deadline to remove their encampment from school grounds. And meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney returns with another look at your Wednesday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
The right price on the right product right now.
Topping Nation Watch this morning. According to a new national survey by the Ohio State University Wexner Center, nearly 2/3 of parents report feeling alone and burned out. More than 1,000 parents responded to the survey published Wednesday. 66% felt the demands of parenthood left them feeling isolated and lonely. Nearly 40% felt as if they had no support from others in their parenting role. The report found most parents said they would value a way to connect with other parents outside of work and home. Experts suggest looking for walking companions, carpooling groups, or babysitting groups in your neighborhood to network with other parents. Community organizations and parenting groups are some other recommended ways to connect. A labor complaint revealed allegations that Boeing retaliated against 2 of its engineers. The 2 employees at the time were working on behalf of the Federal Aviation Administration to provide manufacturing oversight. They raised concerns about engineering work on Boeing's 777 and 787 aircraft. Boeing initially pushed back against redoing the work before agreeing to do it. Now a union representing Boeing engineers has filed a complaint alleging the company retaliated against the 2 employees in their performance reviews. The union says the negative reviews could harm the engineers when it comes to promotions or could subject them to layoffs. Boeing said it investigated the incident, but it's reported could only be shared with the FAA. The union is trying to appeal a decision not to change the performance evaluation of one of the workers. Well, this morning, Columbia University is giving students protesting for Palestinians a new deadline to remove their encampment from school grounds. The directive comes just over a week since the protest began, along with reports of escalating tensions with the Jewish students. Jared Hill reports the actions have sparked a movement at campuses across the country.
Overnight, dozens of tents cover the lawn at Columbia University as a midnight deadline to pack up passed with no action. The protests here started with students looking for the school to sever all ties with Israel following the country's bombardment of Gaza after Hamas's October 7th attack. Now they've sparked demonstrations on college campuses coast to coast.
There are millions of Palestinians within Gaza who are sleeping out in the cold every single night without access to food, without access to shelter.
At New York University, plywood barricades were installed around a campus plaza yesterday after unruly protests Monday night. More than 100 people were arrested. Students at Columbia say their main push is for more financial transparency and change to how the school's money is invested.
I think that it's time to divest from those weapons manufacturing and re-divest them into other important things.
A similar sentiment from Jewish protesters near the Brooklyn home of Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer.
What I don't understand is why we keep
sending money for genocide.
Tensions on campuses have led to concerns about harassment and safety for the school's Jewish communities.
A person was yelling at me, screaming at me, calling me a Zionist and a murderer.
Amid unrest and with graduation just weeks away, Columbia announced it'll offer online classes for the rest of the year. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
House Speaker Mike Johnson's office announced he'll meet with the Jewish students at Columbia University this afternoon. And that's a look at some of today's top national stories. Now here's Lindsay with a look at your forecast.
Well, we do have the sun coming up, clouds moving in, and a few showers starting to push into the area, moving through Joplin around 8:39 a.m. It'll clear out after that, and then we're having a mostly cloudy day. More rain coming in later on tonight. A little bit later on, I'll talk more about what you can expect in your forecast tonight and tomorrow.
Considering a metal roof, call the
Floor and Home across from North Park Mall in Joplin.
Well, an Oklahoma boy had dreamed of owning an octopus since he was 2. But when his dreams became reality, he suddenly ended up with 50 of them. Jeannie Moose reports on a story with legs.
You may not think of octopuses as lovable, but this is the face of a kid seeing his pet octopus for the first time. 9-year-old Cal Clifford cried with joy.
You didn't have to do this.
When his parents gave him the tank.
We're gonna build an octopus tank?
The octopus itself was delivered in a plastic bag to this Oklahoma family. They named it Terrence.
Terrence loves to welcome us every time we visit her. Hi!
As in high five, but with 8 tentacles. Within weeks, Cal's dad Cameron says,
we found out that he was a she.
And Terrence, now Terry, started acting weird, laying eggs, but no one imagined they'd been fertilized.
The uh-oh moment was definitely when the first one hatched.
Hatched right in Dad's hand as he examined an egg. Cal got emotional. Getting a first look at the hatchlings, suddenly one octopus had become many.
50
babies, and each had to be cared for in a separate container.
The babies will actually cannibalize each other.
The babies got names like JC and his boo, Ciance. The family learned that octopuses make for expensive pets. Leaks in the tank system required vacuuming carpets and relaying ruined floors. It was all documented on TikTok.
I wish my son's favorite animal had been a hamster.
Almost half of the baby octopuses survived, and so has Terry. Usually, the mom dies after laying her eggs. The babies are destined for educational institutions. As for Cal, he's so into octopuses he even dressed up like one for Halloween. No wonder he was overwhelmed when they gave him his first tank.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Dad and Mom. Jeannie Moose, CNN, New York.
According to the American Veterinary and Medical Association, octopuses generally live between 1 to 5 years. Now here's Lindsay with a quick look at your forecast.
We've got some clouds moving in, showers making it to Joplin around 8:39 a.m., clearing out shortly after that. Then mostly cloudy day, more clouds move in later on this afternoon, and then heavier rainfall starts to make its way in about 8:39 p.m. tonight. Then we'll have some thunderstorms closer to midnight and in the early morning hours on Thursday. Now I'll have a full look at your forecast right after the break.
If you look at your lives.
Well, traffic is starting to increase out there, and taking a look, we've got a really nice sunrise this morning. A few clouds out there as well. They're going to start to increase as we see some showers push in this morning. Temperatures across the region still sticking in the mid-40s, getting up into the 50s a little bit. Parsons out 54, Chanute 52, Pittsburgh 50, Joplin still about 45 degrees, so a little bit cooler this morning. And we do see clouds starting to increase, and we've got one shower making its way through our area. And it's going to take the path through Eureka, Fredonia, Chanute, Parsons, Columbus, and Joplin by about 8:39 a.m. Shortly after that, it'll clear out Then we won't see any more rain until later on this evening. We have clouds here and there, but for the most part, it's going to be a decent day. If you're starting your morning and you're not in that path of that shower that's moving through, you'll have some clouds, but overall it'll be pretty nice, about 50 degrees to start the morning off. Light winds out of the northeast, and then again coming back home later on that evening, low 70s. Clouds have increased and winds are still pretty light out of the northeast. Now, it's going to feel maybe a little bit cooler just because we do have a lot of cloud coverage and these rain chances as well. So rain showers, brief scattered showers coming in around noon to 4, but that heavier widespread rain not coming in until after 8 p.m. Then after midnight, that's when we're going to see those thunderstorms and heavy rainfall. Today we've got a very low risk for any type of severe storms. We're mostly just seeing some patches of heavier rainfall, but tomorrow in the morning we may see those thunderstorms, morning to the early afternoon as well. Kansas and Oklahoma counties are going to experience a low risk for storms, nothing too severe, but you could expect some thunderstorms and lightning. Now Friday we have an elevated risk across the entire 4 states region. So we've got that possible alert day for Friday in the event that we will see some severe storms. Now this is the track for this morning. We're going to see it start to push through. Here's that one patch of heavier rain just east of Joplin. It'll be making its way. This is 9 a.m. Shortly after that, clearing out by noon. Just some patchy clouds here and there. Continuing on, we have a few more scattered showers across the region. This is 2 p.m. this afternoon, but main rainfall not coming in until later on this evening. So we're going to push in about 8:39. That's where we see the heavier patches of rain going through Yates Center, Parsons, Joplin, and it'll continue on. After it moves out of the Joplin region, we've got that line of heavier rain and possible thunderstorms. Then again, right east of Parsons, and a little patch of heavy rain and thunderstorms. Now that's going to continue on out of the area. This is 2:30 in the morning as well. And we do see thunderstorms continue to increase in the early morning hours on Thursday and through the early afternoon on Thursday as well. But it's not going to be too severe with our main threats of severe weather not coming in until Friday, Saturday, Sunday for that possible alert day. But we do expect some showers this evening, some thunderstorms after midnight, and thunderstorms all morning in the morning tomorrow. Now we'll go over to Elise with Health Watch.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. Many people complaining from a loss of taste after recovering from COVID are actually experiencing a loss of smell. A study published in a JAMA Network finds COVID patients typically recover their sense of taste within a year of recovery, but nearly a third of COVID patients still have a weaker sense of smell. The findings suggest COVID affects our sense of smell more than taste buds. A pediatric COVID vaccination program in California helped prevent more than 300,000 cases of COVID in children. A study by UC Berkeley looked at COVID cases between 2020 and 2023. It found that vaccinating kids not only greatly reduced their chances of getting sick, it also significantly lowered hospitalizations for COVID. And a group of doctors is supporting bans on advertising junk food to kids. The American College of Lifestyle Medicine says it supports the Childhood Diabetes Reduction Act, which also would require warning labels on ultra-processed and sugar-sweetened food and drinks. The group says 1/3 of children are overweight and a diet is to blame. Well, it's no secret taking quick action to combat cancer can save lives, and time is of the essence. With the National Institutes of Health reporting, delaying cancer care by as little as 6 weeks can decrease a patient's survival by up to 13%. But when it comes to lung cancer, one small robot could be proving huge outcomes in speeding up diagnoses of the disease. Ted Linder takes a closer look.
A new robot could help combat the deadliest cancer in the country. The National Cancer Institute estimates about 125,000 people in the U.S. will die from lung cancer this year. With doctors citing how early detection is key to saving lives, California medical experts are unveiling a new robot they say can help provide faster and safer diagnoses.
One of the main things that people can get when they get a CT scan of their lungs that shows up is a spot in their lungs called a nodule.
The presence of nodules can send patients in a panic, with many worrying they could be a sign of cancer. But some nodules are too small or hard to reach for doctors to analyze.
This tool allows us to go after almost any nodule in the lung to try to provide patients with diagnostic certainty. When we can give patients diagnoses, we can alleviate some of their anxiety and/or we can make treatment decisions.
The robot goes down the patient's throat to reach the lungs in a less invasive operation. The small device then travels through the maze of branches in the lungs, letting doctors see what's inside with help from a virtual map of the organs created from a CT scan.
And so this allows us to, one, get to the nodules that radiology could not otherwise get to. Two, biopsy nodules from the inside, which has a much lower risk of lung collapse.
Doctors have already used the bot on 3 patients and hope the tool provides results and peace of mind for many more in the future.
And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back.
In the heart of Grove, Oklahoma, a new
Right now at 6:30, the North Heights neighborhood in Joplin is getting ready for its annual Music Fest.
And we do have some showers pushing in this morning and more rain coming in later on this evening.
Plus, a Carthage business is helping to make a brighter future for some local nonprofit groups.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's just coming up on 6:30. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Lindsay Gaffney.
Yes, we've got Lindsay with us for the remainder of the week here. It's Wednesday. We are just moving through the month of April like you wouldn't believe. I can't believe that it's just, our last full week of April.
I can't either. It's a little surprising. But what they say, April showers bring May flowers.
Yes,
so next week we'll see if the flowers start to sprout. We do have a lot of shower chances this week starting this morning. Taking a look outside. Joplin, about 45 degrees. We do see those clouds starting to move in, but we've got a gorgeous sunrise this morning. Pretty light winds as well, and you saw a few patchy spots of fog this morning, but most of that's cleared out as well. Now, temperatures across the region still in the mid to upper 40s, some pushing into the 50s. We've got 55 in Neodesha, 50 in Pittsburgh, but a few still in the lower 40s as well. 40 in Fort Scott and Nevada 41. So a little cooler start to the morning, and we do have one main shower line pushing through this morning. Right now making its way through Eureka, heading towards Fredonia, Parsons, Columbus, and then hitting Joplin by about 8:30, 9 a.m. This is going to be very light showers, nothing too crazy going on this morning. After that clears out, we'll have a few patches of clouds, maybe some rain showers as well, right on those borders, and then more rain starts to push in later on this evening around 8:30, 9 p.m., and then thunderstorms come in after midnight. So we'll have more rain chances moving in tonight and for the rest of the week. I'll have more details for you in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. Well, signing days at high schools are usually reserved for student athletes headed to college, but McDonald County High School yesterday highlights some extra signings, 5 students committing to military service. Sam Brewer is headed to the U.S. Army, Aiden Ball and William Rector committed to the Marine Corps. Stacy Lopez Apollonar will join the Navy, and Keisha Raponi is joining the Missouri Army National Guard. Also standout running back Sam Barden committed to play football at Missouri Southern. Well, Crowder will have 2 new programs beginning this fall. Engineering technology is intended to train students for careers as an engineering designer or drafter. Geographic Information System is designed to develop skills for storing, analyzing, and visualizing geographic information, such as maps, satellite images, and demographic data. The college says both programs have high demand in the job market and can be completed relatively quickly. The North Heights neighborhood in Joplin is getting ready for its annual Music Fest. Porch Fest kicks off on October 5th this year, but applications begin this Thursday. As usual, the event will include performers, artisans, food trucks, porch hosts, and a lot of volunteers. Spots for performers, artisans, and food trucks will be limited, so sign up as soon as possible. We have more information at KOAMnewsnow.com. Liberty plans a tree giveaway next month. The energy provider has teamed state and local departments for the annual May the Forest Be With You event. The event takes place from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. this coming Saturday in Joplin's Wildcat Park. The event serves as a good way to help plant some trees native to the area. If you're interested, just go to KOAMnewsnow.com for more information. The Carthage business is helping to make a brighter future for some local nonprofit groups. Carthage Hardware donated $20,000 worth of paint to groups that work with kids. Those groups cover nonprofit, for-profit, clubs, schools, you name it. The donation will also go towards historic preservation. For Carthage Hardware, the donation is all about helping the community.
Last year, Boots Court Foundation was one of the recipients. They recently just won a Golden Hammer Award for historic preservation, so we were very honored to be a part of that project.
Carthage Hardware has been in this city for 146 years. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Rising competition in the electric vehicle market sent Tesla's first quarter profit plunging. And rain chances continue. We'll have what to expect with Lindsay Gaffney in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. In Consumer Watch this morning, heated homes with fossil fuels is a major source of greenhouse gas emissions, but one company is helping residential buildings reduce their impact and put carbon to use. Bradley Blackburn shows us how.
Deep in the basement of a New York City apartment building.
These are the boilers.
These massive devices generate heat and hot water for hundreds of residents.
This runs on natural gas.
Ryan Aspero with Carbon Quest says burning that fuel creates carbon dioxide. It would normally go out the chimney, but
here's the carbon capture room.
Their system captures CO2 before it's released in the air.
This tank holds 700 gallons of liquefied carbon dioxide. That's equivalent to about 3 tons of CO2.
The maze of pipes and tanks fills a room, but it's actually small scale. Most carbon capture happens at large industrial plants. Aspero believes bringing the technology down to this size is critical to fighting climate change.
This takes up about 800 square feet in a 400,000 square foot building.
More cities like New York are rolling out restrictions on building emissions, but changing an entire heating system to electric is difficult.
For buildings that use natural gas boilers, carbon capture is a cost-effective and easy solution to implement without a major disruption.
From the basement, the CO2 is pumped out and taken by truck to Glenwood Mason in Brooklyn.
It's the exact duplicate tank.
VP Jeff Hansen says every day this factory churns out some 40,000 concrete blocks. They now inject CO2 in the slurry before blocks are formed to be stored forever.
Every one of these blocks has carbon locked up inside.
Every single one of them.
Using these blocks can help projects meet new green construction requirements. Carbon captured in a full cycle, showing how one building's waste can help build a greener future. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Carbon Quest says its capture system can be used by large residential buildings and also institutions like schools and hospitals. Rising competition in the electric vehicle market sent Tesla's first quarter profit plunging 55%. Falling global sales and price cuts hurt the EV's maker's revenue, with earnings announced after Wall Street's closing bell. Tesla also said it plans to lay off nearly 2,700 workers in Texas and California starting in June. The FDA has found evidence of the bird flu virus in grocery store milk. However, the agency expressed confidence that there is no threat to human health. According to the FDA, tests are being conducted to determine how well pasteurization works to reduce the risk of infectious bird flu in the milk supply. And the popular security screening service Clear is facing some possible headwinds in California. The company could be banned from the state's airports per a new bill. Some lawmakers say Clear has created a system of haves and have-nots when it comes to skipping airport lines. Well, storms are becoming more severe across the country, and those wild weather patterns, now so widespread, means higher costs for home insurance. Jen Sullivan looks at how much it's costing homeowners.
Hurricanes, flash floods, tornadoes, and wildfires. Weather patterns are drastically changing across the country. Last year, there were 28 weather and climate disasters reported, with each topping $1 billion in losses, according to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. And it's costing consumers, especially in high-risk areas, with skyrocketing home insurance costs.
And the trends go to the extremes. All the financial modeling that the insurance companies base their rates on is disrupted.
Travis Hodges is an insurance broker at Hub International. He says costs have gone up by as much as 25% in some cases, and it's in every state. According to the insurance tracker Bankrate.com, the average annual rate for a home worth $300,000 is $2,151. But in some areas of Florida, like Fort Lauderdale, you could be paying more than $10,000 a year. And most insurance policies don't cover flood insurance. That's a separate policy. So what's causing these high increases?
All of the house values have gone up. All the labor costs have gone up. All the materials have gone up.
And all of that means it costs more to repair any damages and rebuild to new building codes. Hodges says there are things homeowners can do to help lower their annual costs. Like raising your deductible by as much as $500 can actually lower your premium bill by as much as 15 to 20%. Bundle your insurance and shop around to compare different rates. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
And that's it for Consumer Watch. Here's Lindsay with another look at your forecast.
So we do have a few showers starting to push into the area, hitting Joplin around 8:30, 9 a.m. this morning, and it'll slowly dissipate right after that. Now, for the rest of the day, we'll see some clouds. They start to increase as we move into later on in the evening, and then we've got heavier rainfall starting to push in around 8 p.m. tonight. Then as we get closer to the overnight hours and after midnight, that's when we're going to see those thunderstorm chances start to spark up. And in the early hours Thursday morning, when you're getting ready for your day, we'll have some thunderstorms still sticking around for most of the morning. Now, it's almost time to celebrate birthdays and anniversaries. They're up after the break, but first, let's see what's happening on CBS Mornings.
I'm Gail King. Coming up on CBS Mornings, country singer Blake Shelton reflects on his personal and professional relationship with wife Gwen Stefani, his growing restaurant empire, and his future with The Voice. That's coming right up on CBS Mornings.
Well, it's time to celebrate some Wednesday birthdays, starting off with Maverick Allen Thompson, turning 3 from Mound Valley, Kansas. It says, "Love Mimi and Papa."
And Graylin Welch, who turned 7 today. Happy birthday out in Erie, Kansas. Love Mom, Dad, Big Sister, and Little Brother.
And also turning 7 is Raylan Murphy from Seneca. It says, "Happy birthday from Mom, Dad, and the rest of the family."
Happy 25th birthday to Heather Keeling, who is from Joplin, Missouri.
Over in Spring Hill, Kansas, a happy birthday to Devin Heckard, who's turning 29 today.
And Riverton, Kansas, Robin Zorns, who turned 32 today. Happy birthday, Robin.
And a happy birthday to Kristen Fecky, who from Carl Junction, celebrating birthday number 40.
And out in Galena, Kansas, we've got twins celebrating their 67th birthday. Carol Clyburn on the left and Kathy Paddock on the right.
And happy birthday to Tom Loffmiller, who's turning 73 today from Pittsburgh.
And a big 77th birthday to Albert Budd. His Happy birthday, Dad. We all love you.
And over in Columbus, a happy birthday to Jean Hamilton.
And we've got another birthday for Linda Parsons out in Kansas with her grandkids, Nick, John Jr., Julie, Shannon, and Jada. Also has 12 great grandkids.
And continuing our birthday list with Amelia McMahon, who's turning 9, says, love Mom, Dad, and Owen. A great birthday list there. Happy to celebrate your birthday with you all. As always, make sure to submit your birthdays and anniversaries to birthdays@KOAMnewsnow.com. Be sure to meet the deadline that you see there at the bottom of your screen to make sure that we celebrate it on the right day. Now over to Lindsay with a look at the forecast.
We've got a really gorgeous sunrise this morning, but you can see we've got some clouds in the area as well. And we do have a shower pushing through the region, and that's going to be coming through Joplin around 8:30, 9 a.m. But temperatures right now starting to warm up slowly but surely. 48 out in Grove, 50 in Jay, 43 out in Carthage. So we're getting up there. 52 in Pittsburgh as well. Getting warmer. Now, we do have this one shower that'll be moving through this morning. It's coming through Eureka, Fredonia, Parsons, Columbus, maybe Pittsburgh, and Joplin by about 8:30, 9 a.m. After that, it's going to slowly start to dissipate. Then we're going to see just mostly some clouds in the area, little patchy clouds, and more rainfall coming in later on this evening. So when you're starting your day, if you're not in that path of the showers, then you're going to have some clouds, but it'll mostly be pretty nice, starting about 50 degrees, and then moving on to later on this afternoon, clouds continue to increase. Temperatures get up to about 73, but lower 70s across the region. And winds still light out of the northeast. They will start to increase as we move in later this evening when we see those rain chances increase as well. So by noon to 4 p.m., may see a few scattered showers, especially on the southern borders. But after 8 p.m., that's when we're going to see those shower chances increase. It'll be some heavier rainfall closer to midnight. And after midnight, that's when we're going to see those thunderstorms start to make their way in. So very, very low risk for storms today. We're not seeing much, maybe some heavier rain this afternoon, but we do see some thunderstorms coming in tomorrow morning and early afternoon. Most threat for Kansas and Oklahoma, although it's still a very low risk. Now Friday, we have an elevated risk for these storms, and that's across the all of our counties. So we will continue to update you on that system and what you can expect and timing for that a little bit later on. Now, this is the shower that's moving through right now. You can see a little patch of heavier rain just east of Joplin. This is about 9 a.m. It'll continue on through, and then by noon, mostly clear. We do have some clouds and, like I said, a few patches of scattered showers, and then you can see them pushing in through the southern counties. This is 2 p.m. Then after that, patch of clear skies, and then that closed clouds start to come back in. This is 7 p.m. We see those thunderstorms pushing in on those western counties. They'll continue to move in through Parsons and even hit Joplin. This is 8:30 tonight. Then after it moves out of Joplin's area, then we'll see those showers turn heavier into heavier rainfall, maybe some thunder as well. And you also have a patch of heavier rainfall, maybe a thunderstorm pushing through Parsons after that. Then later on, earlier in the morning, Thursday, that thunderstorm pushing through, and then we have a line of thunderstorms making their way through. This is 5:30 in the morning. That'll continue to wreak some havoc across our eastern counties. Not too severe, but we will see those thunderstorms pushing in, especially through Nevada and those northeastern counties as well. And you can see we've got a patch of heavy rain thunderstorms that'll be moving through later on in the morning and early afternoon hours. So today, isolated showers in the morning and early afternoon. Then we've got that PM rain coming in. It'll be heavier rainfall. You may hear some rumbles of thunder, but nothing too severe today. Then moving into Thursday morning, we've got that line of thunderstorms coming in early in the morning around 5 to 6 a.m. That'll continue to move through the counties early till about 9 a.m. Then we'll see some patch of heavy thunderstorms, heavy rain, heavy thunderstorms pushing through early afternoon on Thursday. Nothing too severe for Thursday because our possible alert days that we're mainly focused on is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We've got those possible alert days Friday, elevated risk for those severe storms. Now we're a little less confident about timing and what you can expect, but we are expecting possibly hail, heavy rain, and even tornadoes this weekend as well. So you might want to start getting prepared for that when you're planning any activities for this weekend. Now coming up on the KOAM Morning News, switches on over to Fox 14. Hear how college students in Michigan are studying the Great Lakes in their very own submarine.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. The Carthage City Council met last night to discuss the next steps to remove the city administrator. Some members of the council want to hire an outside attorney to assist with the removal process. It stems from Mayor Dan Rive's belief the city policy says he has to approve the dismissal along with the council and that he will not do so. The bill to hire an outside attorney passed its first reading. The City Council in Baxter Springs, Kansas also met last night to discuss plans for a sober living house. The plan is controversial for some residents because of its proximity to a school and restaurant bar. Council members determined the proposed location is not properly zoned for a sober living house and would have to be rezoned for the plan to proceed. And Crowder will have 2 new programs beginning this fall. Engineering Technology will train students as engineering designers or drafters. Geographic Information System teaches students the skills for storing, analyzing, and visualizing geographic information. The college says both programs have high demand in the job market and can be completed relatively quickly. Now to check up today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And planning your day today, we've got some early showers this morning moving through Joplin around 9 a.m. Clearing out after that, some patchy clouds here and there, scattered showers in those southern counties. But clouds move in later on this afternoon, and then we've got that heavier rain coming in closer to midnight, thunderstorms after midnight, and those are going to continue all morning tomorrow.
Get through these storms, and then Monday and Tuesday look pretty nice next week, so we just got to hold out for that.
Yep, and then, well, unfortunately, we got some more rain right after that. So, but it's a good thing, you know,
we
rain
do need the
for
rain,
the area.
Absolutely. All right, thanks, Lindsay. Well, coming up today at noon, we're making your family's favorite meatloaf in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, we'll see why the university was gifted a submarine to help study the Great Lakes region.
Plus, James Coover joins us in the studio for another Wildcat Wednesday. But that'll wrap it up for now. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.